use factorization method to solve the equation 2 over x minus 2 plus 3 over x minus 3 is equals to 4. Are we together? Now, the first thing we do is to ensure that to solve a quadratic problem using factorization is to ensure that it is in form of a standard quadratic equation. And a standard quadratic equation is ax² plus bx plus c is equals to 0. So the task is to ensure that this equation is in that form, isn't it? So we have 2 over x minus 2 plus 3 over x minus 3 is equals to 4. So we look for the LCM of the left hand side of the equation. That is going to be a product of x minus 2 and x minus 3. So x minus 2 goes here, x minus 3 times, then we have 2 times x minus 3, isn't it? Yes. Then plus, in the numerator there we have 3 into x minus 2. All is equals to 4. So we simplify. So in the numerator we have 2 times x, 2x, then minus 2 times 3 is 6, minus 6, isn't it? Then plus 3 times x is 3x, positive into negative is negative, then 3 times 2 is 6. So you've simplified the numerator. Then the denominator, you expand the denominator. Yeah? Yeah, you expand the denominator. So if you expand the denominator, you start with the first factor of the first bracket to multiply all the factors in the second bracket. So x times x is x squared, x times negative 3, negative 3x. Then the second factor in the first bracket is negative 2. So negative 2 multiplies everything on the other bracket, isn't it? Negative 2 times x, negative 2x, then negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6 is equals to 4. Then you simplify further, isn't it? So in the numerator on the left hand side we have 2x plus 3x giving us 5x. Then we have negative 6 and negative 6 giving us negative 12. So you've simplified in the numerator. Then denominator we have x squared minus 3x minus 2x is minus 5x. Then plus 6 is equals to 4. So the next thing to do is to get rid of the denominator, isn't it? So to get rid of the denominator, we multiply both sides of the equation with the denominator, isn't it? So you multiply both sides of the equation by x squared minus 5x plus 6. X squared minus 5x plus 6. So denominator goes with denominator on the left hand side of the equation. So on the left hand side of the equation, we remain with 5x minus 12. So on the left hand side of the equation, we have 5x minus 12. Then you expand the right hand side of the equation, isn't it? That is going to be 4 times x squared, we get 4x squared. 4 times negative 5x, you get negative 20x. Then 4 times 6, you get positive 24. Then now you collect like terms. You take all terms on one side of the equation, isn't it? So this one means we will have 4x squared minus 20x plus 24. Then proceed that one to be equals to 5x minus 12, isn't it? That one is equals to 5x minus 12. So we just switch. We've left the right hand side of the equation to be the left, isn't it? Then the left hand side of the equation to be the right. So we have 4x squared minus 20x plus 24. Then 5x coming in the left hand side of the equation, it becomes negative 5x. Negative 12x coming on the left hand side of the equation, it becomes positive 12. So that one is equivalent to 0. So if you simplify this, we get 4x squared, negative 20x, and negative 5x gives you a total of negative 25x, isn't it? Then positive 24 and positive 12 gives you a total of 36, isn't it? Is equals to 0. So this one is a standard quadratic equation. So it is a standard quadratic equation in the form ax squared plus bx plus c is equals to 0. Now having done that, you now let a is 4, b is negative 25, and c is 36. Now with factorization method, we want the numbers which is giving us a product is always a times c, isn't it? So a times c, 4 times 36, you get 144, isn't it? Then a sum is always the b, isn't it? So it means a sum of negative 25. So which numbers give us a product of 144 and a sum of negative 25? You test by using maybe the product 144. Which numbers gives you a product of 144? So it means the two numbers which will give us a product of 144 is 9 and 16, isn't it? So it means for you to get a sum of negative 25, you get negative 9. You use negative 9 and negative 16. So it means it is the product which is used to test. Are you seeing that? Yeah. It is the product you use to test. So it means the two numbers is negative 9 and negative 16, isn't it? So in our equation, which is 4x squared minus 25x plus 36x equal to 0, is going to be what? It is going to be 4x squared, then the first one is minus 9, isn't it? So minus 9x, then the next one is minus 16x, then the end plus 36 is equals to 0. Then you factorize out a common factor, isn't it? So in the first equation, the first two terms here, the common factor is x, isn't it? So if you factorize out x, you remain with 4x minus 9. Good. Then in the next two terms, the common factor there is 4, isn't it? So if you factor out that negative 4, here you remain with 4x, then minus 9 is equals to 0. Because negative into negative go back to positive, isn't it? Negative 4 times negative 9 will give you back your positive 36, isn't it? So there, the bracket which is open is x minus 4. Then the other bracket is 4x minus 9 is equals to 0. So what does that imply? It implies that either the first factor is equals to 0 or the second factor is 0. So we have x minus 4 is 0 or 4x minus 9 is 0, isn't it? So here we have, this will imply that x is equals to 4 in the first case. Then in the next case we have or 4x is equals to 9, isn't it? So that will imply, you divide both sides by 4, will imply x is 9 over 4. So you've solved that problem using factorization. So that is how to solve a quadratic problem using factorization. Yes. Hiyo sasa ni quadratic formula. So quadratic formula, that one if you are going to use a formula. So formula you can use maybe in rough work.